This is the Real Wealth Podcast, where we explore all things wealth related. Join us on this wealth journey. Let's get into it. In this week's episode, I'm speaking to Chris Bradley, the upgraded coach, owner of Glasgow PT, and author of Fitness Business Mastery. In this episode, we're talking about turning your passion into a profession, starting and scaling a PT business, creation of your own personal brand and digital assets, and ultimately creating a life on your own terms as he sells his gym and moves to Spain. This is a really interesting conversation with a great guy, so let's get into it. Chris Bradley, thanks for joining me, and thanks for coming to the office and doing this in person. Much better to be across the table face to face than over Zoom, so I appreciate your time. Thanks a lot for coming.
Yeah, mate, I'm excited for this nice wee trip through from Glasgow, so good to get out of the office, mate. It's been in there all week. Yeah, I'm excited for this, mate.
Absolutely. So I think the first thing I wanted to go to, with everything that you do, from Glasgow PT to the upgraded coach and now your book Fitness Business Mastery, it appears to me that you are someone who has turned a passion into a profession. Can you tell us just a little bit about your journey to there and what's driven you to that point?
Yeah, man. So for me, it was about leaving school and kind of getting to the point where it's like, right, what am I going to do for a life here, for a career? And I'm trying to take myself back to that point, because now it's okay. It's okay with the new knowledge you've got, isn't it, to almost shape what your past was like or how you fought. But really it was about, like, okay, how can I make money here? I left school with no qualifications really, or very average qualifications. Had a job in Sainbury's the day after I turned 16. So I was like, right, okay. Left school and they offered me full-time hours. I was like, right, okay, let's take that. That'll do. £1,200 a month. I'll take that. And I was one of those ones where I was making £1,200 a month buying my mates bevy and stuff, because I had a full-time job, whereas they were still, some of them were maybe going on to college, uni, some were mechanics and joiners, so they were in their first year making hardly any money.
Everybody's skint and you're kind of the cash cow.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I had a terrible relationship with money, mate, because I didn't come from much, so it was always get money, spend money, and just enjoy life. It was never a bad time I had, but it was, looking back, it was terrible with money, mate.
This is something that I mean, certainly I've talked about in some of the early episodes, and it's a big frustration of mine that the school system just doesn't teach you anything about financial intelligence. It doesn't teach even the basics of budgeting, managing a credit card. I was speaking to my missus' son last night, who's 13 now, and he was asking me to explain what a credit card was and how it works and all that sort of stuff, and I'm like, they should be teaching you this stuff at school. There's mass debt, but I just don't think the incentives are there for the government to do that.
Why would they? They want you trapped in their world, don't they?
Trapped in the employee cycle. Just spending every penny that comes in. Ultimately, a consumer of the world rather than a producer, right? Yeah,
mate, that's exactly it. And hopefully, I think the next generation, with guys like yourself and entrepreneurship being a bigger thing now. Who knows? In 10 years' time, it might have to get plugged in through just demand, to be honest, mate, and success from people the generation beforehand. But yeah, so it was about getting a job. The years kind of went quite fast before I know it's 5 years in Sainsbury's, like, whoa. And again, those mates that I had who were earning 40 quid a week were now finishing their qualifications, their degrees, their apprenticeships. So my £1,200 was getting dwarfed at that point, and I thought, right, okay, I need to do something. And truth be told, mate, the only thing that really made me get my finger out was like, because I enjoyed having money. I stayed at my mum's, big money, a phone bill. That was it.
Comfortable life.
Yeah, so, and then it was really when I started to have a bit more of a, like, right, okay, I want to buy nice things, I want meet girls and stuff, but I don't want to tell them I work in Sainsbury's, and do you know, it was that kind of thing. So a bit of pride comes into play, and then before I know it, like 8 years later, working in Sainsbury's, very much an employed mindset. I decided to bite the bullet and work away in Cyprus and Ayia Napa. So I went away for 2 summers over there.
Must have been fun.
Yeah, not exactly. Well, I mean, finding myself, but it wasn't exactly structured work, was it? I worked behind a bar, and it was amazing. But then, the Peter Pan life was over. It was like, right, time to get a real job.
What age was that?
21, 22, came back 23. So, and I was like, right, what am I going to do? Back to Sainsbury's, my tail between my legs, really try to make money. And then from there, I started lifting weights and things like that as well. I started going to the gym. I'd always kind of like enjoyed playing football. I was good at football, and then I tried lifting weights and just kind of transition into it because you're good at sports and stuff. So loved that. And then I was like, right, okay. I remember being in a gym and I was watching personal trainers. I remember watching one of them walking about with a wee tub of food. Thinking back, it was quite tragic because it was like chicken and rice or whatever.
Oh yeah. Staple.
Yeah, the staple. And I remember looking, they were in their joggies and just chilling and just having a laugh with clients. And I was like, I like a bit of that. That sounds good. So then I went about and did my qualification. So obviously I had to take 3 weeks. It was a 6-week course. Took 3 weeks paid, unpaid holiday, 3 weeks paid holiday. Yeah. So pretty much used up my holidays just to get the qualification, which was £3,000, which I had to borrow money for. Came out the back of it, left Sainsbury's. By that point, started working in Ladbrokes to keep the money going. One devil to the other, do you know what I mean? It's the same thing. But what I had in Ladbrokes was I was able to just run my own shop, so I had a bit of like time to study. I had time to just kind of like work my own hours. It wasn't amazing when people try to spit at you through the bandit screen and flinging fags about your shop and stuff like that. So, but it was the lesser of two evils, to be fair. And while I was trying to pick up clients in Pure Gym, I was working in Ladbrokes on the side at the weekends, like 15 hours. Long story short, as I started working in Pure Gym, I started getting a love for training myself, training clients, and eventually...
What was the thing that sparked the love of it? Do you think was it client transformations, those relationships? You know, what was it that really got you going about that?
Mate, it's really just working with people, mate. Like, what I think a lot of people overlook is that when you've got experience in customer service, running a business is just the same thing. It's customer service. It's, entrepreneurship. If you're working with people and you sell to people, you've already got half the skill sets as you go into running your own business, is dealing with people, making people happy, So for me, the biggest passion was helping people. And mate, truth be told, and I'm not sure many people will say this, I love helping people as much as I do make myself look good with it. Yeah. Because I think I need that seal of approval for myself.
Absolutely.
And I think it's important for people to look at their trail, a breadcrumb trail of, no, you have got an undeniable amount of proof that what you say you do works.
I think it's that whole thing of, when it's not enough to prove you can do it yourself, when you can show someone else the path, that's where you get the highest level of fulfillment. I mean, we're the same in our property training business. It's fine what we're doing for ourselves, but there's huge satisfaction in seeing others change their life through that process, right? Yeah,
that's exactly it, man. So that was the big turning point, going from, wow, man, people are actually... I remember someone giving me £300 cash for personal training, and I was just like, are you sure? I remember it. She went out with the bank machine, came back. It was the first person to give me like a block of sessions. It was like 10 sessions, 30 quid a session. And she just said, yep, I'll go and sign up for another 10 sessions. I'll go to the bank now. And I got £300 cash handed to me.
And you're waiting for the police to show up.
Yeah, I'm like, nah, she's taking this back here. And yeah, she gave me, and that's when I had that belief, right? No, do you know what? Actually, she's giving you it for a reason, because she's just had a great session and you're going to change your life. So then fast track that, really, when I built the Glasgow PT business, which was a personal training company for just me solo, and then we opened a gym. My fiance Cheryl came on board.
Yeah, you opened that gym during COVID. That must have been interesting.
Opened that gym during COVID, trying to get equipment, mate. With at the time as well, we tried to get some equipment from China. And I don't know if you remember that blockage, Suez Canal.
Yep.
My stuff was on that.
That ship that got trapped.
Yeah, mate. Yeah. So my stuff was on that. So it was a bit of a nightmare. But to be fair, apart from that, we also had time to think about it, and time to build it, and time to start promoting it and getting ready. We did have to open then close for the second lockdown, which wasn't great. So yeah, that was always a stepping stone. The gym, we built the gym, really happy with it. It was senior branding up in lights, probably similar to what you guys see with the Real Wealth signs been up in this office and stuff. Sense of pride, mate. I really loved it. And then the online businesses boomed in general. Post COVID, if you were well known, if you had a lot of results, if people got a trial what it was like in lockdown to work with people online, and then they go, I can actually do this here. So from a fitness perspective, we were able to impact way more people's lives, because we didn't have see at 6 o'clock on Monday. There's only so many as we can see at the one time, and so on. So we were able to grow the business that way. And as I was doing that, I started helping coaches build their business on the side. And I was fed up talking about fat loss, to be fair, mate. I was fed up with clients saying to me that they can't stick to their calories, or what will I do this weekend when I'm out with my friends. I just done that for too long, mate. And what I buzzed about was someone saying to me, how did you build your business like that? Do you mind if I grab a coffee? Do you mind if we talk about it? How are you getting clients? And I loved it. I loved just sharing. I loved, again, it goes back to what I said there, like I loved helping people, but also made me reaffirmed to me that what you're doing is right. And yeah, before I mentioned the rest of it, like you'd mentioned employee mindset there, and that's one of the biggest things that almost stopped me from starting the gym and starting the mentorship and stuff, is because the inconsistencies of the income, aka not knowing how to run a business. I was just helping people. I think that's what a lot of people do. I'll help you. I get fulfillment from helping people. It's like, yeah, that's one part of the pie here. The other part is you need to know how to run a business. So I had to go and learn that, and I had to go and invest in that, because I thought helping people was enough, and it's not.
Yeah, it's not.
And you know that from training the guys. It's like it's not good just going and making a deal or whatever. It's you need the path.
I think the other thing that comes with the employee mindset is the idea that as you start to earn more money, you spend more, you get nicer things in life, and ultimately what most people do is their spending curve goes up in line with their earning curve, and they never get out of the hole. So if you're starting a business and you've got this variability of income at the start where you have a really good month and a bad month, and then you're trying to up your expenses when you've got a good month, and then all of a sudden next month it's not so bad because you're not used to financial planning and budgets and forecasting, you get yourself in a real mess really quickly.
So true, but it looks like you're the dog's bollocks.
Yeah.
Because you've got the clothes and you've got clients in front of you, but it's like that client paid last month for 3 months up front. Now she doesn't pay you for another 3 months, so that 5k a month is just turned into a 2k a month. But like you said, your expense curves are way up.
Absolutely.
So that was the biggest learning curve, and I still see it to this day, and I love it, because when a coach comes to me for help, I remember being in that position so well.
You've been through it all.
Yeah, I've been through it all. So then we closed the gym. It was just time. We bought a property in Spain, which we kind of had as a 5-year goal, but we kind of got there in 2 years. So it was like,
fantastic.
Let's get there. Let's get it done now. And of course, when we had the gym, we had the members of staff and stuff in it, but it was like, personal training is quite personal, obviously, in the name. So you can't just flog people off with people that they don't really know. For example, just there's a coach, counting their reps for us. We're in Spain. So we felt that we were doing a disservice. So we could have done it from a business point of view. I could have done it as passive income. But it wouldn't have sat well with me ethically. So we closed the gym down, sold the equipment and stuff. And now my full focus is on helping personal trainers and coaches, while Cheryl does the Glasgow PT stuff. And now I'm building the business to help personal trainers, online coaches, just build whatever they want to build.
I mean, it sounds like you've built a lifestyle by design, right? But having the place in Spain, having a flexible life where you're not completely fixed to one space because of the business that you run. I mean, it's an incredible place to get to, and it sounds like you've got there quite early in your business journey.
Yeah, I mean, a lot earlier than I thought. I think I've got COVID to thank for a lot of it, mate, to be honest, because the supply was just so high during COVID. But, the supply was so high for personal training and online coaching, and for anything, food, Just Eat, all these places boomed because there's nothing else to do. But my name was in the hat. That's the key thing here, mate. Pre-COVID, I was everywhere. I was showing up on socials. I was chatting to people. I was getting people results. I was in your face on social media. So when it came time to, the gyms are shut, I can't go with personal trainers. What's this online coaching thing? Oh, that guy keeps talking about it. He's noisy. And so the demand was like high, but the supply was low because people shut up shop because they couldn't pivot their business enough.
So you almost had like this unrealizable potential there until COVID came along and everybody accepted the online model, right? I mean,
think about it, Alex. Why pre-COVID, on the 20th of March, I was personal training in Pure Gym, doing some clients on a Friday. It was Friday, right? Everything was duty shut on the Monday, right? I think it was the 20th. And I was still personal training. How can I be in there personal training? Don't get me wrong, mate. I had my own diary, personal training in Pure Gym, making good money. I finished at 12 every day. But how can then post-COVID I have had a gym, be on the verge of shutting a gym, buying a property in Spain? Like, what does that tell you? Yeah, it's been great, but it tells me that I was playing too small. Because like what you said there, it was unrealised. Because I came from Ladbrokes, I came from Sainsbury's. I've got a gym with my missus, brilliant. It's like, no, I know, we know that, and you can practice gratitude with that, but you've got to realise, look how much more potential you can have.
Exactly.
So and you guys will know that it's a big juggling act between be grateful, but never satisfied.
Absolutely. It's that hunger to push things forward, and we always kind of feel, especially at Regroup, that if you're not moving forward, then you're in a death mode, a slow, painful death spiral, unless you're like, right, what's next? What's the next growth mountain to climb, you know?
I think that's the thing. It's like, what's next sometimes can be, you know, right, calm down. So it's just it's a juggling act, as you guys know, because you've got the 3 E's and the staff as well. Somebody's going to say what's next, and 1 of 2 E's might be like, come on, we've just done a big deal. Relax.
That's me in this scenario. Laurie's the one that's like, right, let's do a monster deal now. And I'm like, let's calm down a bit, you know? It's been a while since either of us have had a holiday or a breath to take. So, it's just finding that mixture, but that always sat with me, to be honest. I remember that so well, sitting there and going, how can you do that in 2 years? That just shows you. So it's been great for me, because I'm like, right, okay, I've got to 80 clients now inside our main program. Yeah. Right, what next? Well, that's remember pre-COVID? Cool. And that's what spurs me on. So tell us a bit about the upgraded coach and how you support and sort of the levels with which you support people build their own business and get to where they need to get to.
Yeah, so with Upgraded Coach, we have 2 programs. One program is for coaches under 3K per month. So what that typically means is they've got less than 10 clients. Not necessarily just coaches starting out, because there's some coaches who have been doing this a while, maybe just can't connect the dots. They're maybe at 2.5K per month, and they don't know what they don't know. Yeah. Like, it was like me, stuck, and maybe they're still using old systems, they're using old ways of building a business. A lot of coaches are sitting there now with Chinese whispers in the locker room with other PTs, well-meaning, but they're dinosaurs. Yeah. Well, this is how I do it with my... It's like, well, why are you still here? So I think it's really just trying to cover and make a program for coaches that go, okay, there's a million things we can teach you, but to get 10 clients, there's only a few things you need to do. Yeah. So that program is better for them. The program above that is for coaches over 3K per month, which is top table, as well. We are kind of main program for getting coaches from 3K up to 10, 15, 20K a month. Yeah. And the way we do that is we support them one-to-one. We use methods similar to what I use, but there's one thing that I do consistently is reinvest back in the business, and it's learning up-to-date strategies. Yep. I'm a big fan of marketing. I love marketing. And I think I'm happy with the way the world's going now, because it's going down a marketing route. So it's really about marketing. It's about personal branding. Of course, I can teach the guys what helped me build my business, but one thing that stopped me in their tracks with that was, I remember having a coffee with someone and saying, look, these post-transformations, post-results, and the girl just turned around and said to me, yeah, I don't really want to post-transformations. And I was like, whoa, okay, cool. So I've got one tactic then in my business. So it made me go back to the drawing board, and I went, no more coffees with people until I've got something substantial to give them. So I went back to the drawing board, built the Upgraded Coach, and now we're in a place where I'm like, right, we need to cover marketing. We need to cover how they can get leads, how they can sell without selling their soul, how they can, get world-class results for their clients. But I'm big on personal branding as well, mate. Big on
I can see that from your socials and everything. It's very obvious.
Just trying to
create the
be yourself. Try and be yourself. I went through a route, Alex, like maybe a year ago, where I signed up to an American mentorship and listened, and I went down a different path, man. I was sounding different. I was saying different things.
You try and carbon copy someone else,
mate,
and if you're not doing it authentically yourself,
I felt it.
It's going to come across the clients as well, and you're going down, a sticky road. Yeah,
and you're almost like, why did you not tell me I was talking like that? I'm saying words like awesome and super and stuff, which is fine to say, but not for me in Glasgow.
Well, exactly, yeah.
So then it was just like, right, okay, how can I instill that onto my coaches? And one of the things that you go down a route of doing as well is like, why don't you try and build this? Why don't you go fully online? I was like, right, stop. And one day I just asked a coach, what do you think I should do, Chris? And I was like, what do you want to do? Do I not need to go online if I'm busy one-to-one? No, mate, it's up to you. Build a group program.
It's your business.
You can cut back and do 20 hours and charge £100 an hour. You choose, mate. Yeah. And I know that sounds obvious, Alex, because you've been in the game a lot longer, but it was like, What do you want for
but
this?
Time and time again, the obvious things are the things you miss. I remember early in our journey when we were just trying to figure out the whole property thing and how to do it, and I think it was our agent at the time said, why are you buying all these expensive properties? Why don't you just buy the 60, 70k ex-local authority 400 block stuff, because the yield's over 10%. You try to get cash flow, that's the best way to do it. And you're like, fucking obvious now you say it. But we were just buying the shiny properties that made us feel good because we could point at it and say, right, I own that, and it's not the way to run a business. It's just it's the obvious things that you sometimes miss. And
it's so true, man, because I went into the game and it's like, social media and show results. So I was like, okay, I used to post transformations of clients before and afters. I used to show testimonials. We get pictures with them, changing their lives. So I'm big on results, social proof. And I'm like, how do I do that with business? Like, show people's Stripe screenshots, show people's income. And I did it for a while, mate, and it just didn't stick with me.
Fail.
No, because one time a coach sent me 20k Stripe screenshot. I was like, amazing, man. One of the highest earners. Brilliant. I'm like, a screenshot straight in my story. Client's killing it. About a week later, I was on a one-to-one call with him, just chatting to him, going through some stuff. And he filled in his profitability calculator, expenses and stuff. Something like 15k expenses. It was a gym in Ireland. And I went, you sent me a 20k Stripe screenshot as if it was amazing. Like, I'm not being funny, but we've just worked out your expenses are 15k by the time you've paid the gym, the staff, yourself a wage.
Yep.
You're only 5k profit, and that's not including VAT bills that are going to come up soon.
Well, exactly, yeah.
And I went, nah, never again. Like, that just shows you. So now we're actually pivoting our market to be completely against Stripe screenshots.
Yep.
And we're going down the route of monthly recurring revenue. That's our big thing now. Because although monthly recurring revenue doesn't sound as sexy, it's what makes coaches who come to us that are anxious and unsure and don't want to have a kid because they're not like, can I actually have a kid and keep it going?
Yeah.
Monthly recurring revenue does that. So we're on the road to trying to make monthly recurring revenue sexier again.
Well, good luck with that.
Yeah.
I've been trying to make property tax sexy for a while, and it's just, I don't think it's taken on.
It's got tax in it, that's why
exactly,
you need to take that word.
But it's one of those things that we talk about quite a lot because people don't like to talk about tax. But again, it's a big difference between the employee mindset and the entrepreneur mindset. Is you can be hugely efficient with your tax, save a fortune in tax, whereas if you're an employee, you get taxed before you even see the money, so it's a massive difference between the rich and the poor when it comes to understanding all that stuff. But never going to be sexy.
No, that's it.
You just can't do it. I think what strikes me for a lot of, and I think this is particularly prevalent in the fitness industry, but generally small businesses tend to fail, the large majority of them, quite early on, and I think it's particularly prevalent with fitness. So why do you think that is? Why do you think a lot of PT fitness coach businesses don't last beyond the first sort of 3 or 4 months?
Exactly what the question you asked me earlier, Alex. You said to me, you've turned your passion into a profession, and that's the biggest part, because you go from lifting weights and people saying, how did you get in that shape? Yeah. 3 people have asked me that now. I think I should become a PT. They become a PT, and those 3 people go, oh, you're a PT now? You're in good shape? And you go, yeah, do you want me to tell you how to get in shape? It's £250. Oh, I need to go, mate. See you later. Because you think that you've got this queue of people waiting to get trained.
And when you start asking the questions, it's...
Oh, not a chance. Because you go from loving the gym, mate, loving your own journey, documenting it, to then becoming a business owner. And see, as soon as you go to post, remember when you used to post with your top off that you loved because you love it? Now you're in business owner mode, and you're like, okay, do I know what I'm talking about here? Do I know what to say? How do I talk about diet? I don't know anything about nutrition. So there's that side of it, mate, is realising that you go from, it's not a passion anymore, it's a profession. You can have it as a passion, of course, but you now need to make money. The second part of it is that they're ill prepared, mate. Yeah. They qualifying from 6 weeks of training that I don't know if anybody's ever failed.
And I'd imagine the training is very much the mechanics of training someone as opposed to this is how you run a business.
Mate,
right?
It's more about anatomy.
Yeah. Than anything.
The heart broke down into 4 parts and muscles and muscle fibers.
It's like going back to school of all this fucking pointless shit that they're teaching you.
It's
where
basically like that.
It's not serving you day to day, right?
Yeah, and look, that's why I brought the book out. The book is, if you've qualified, it literally says on it, every fitness coach needs to read as soon as they qualify, because if you don't, you're going to fall off the cliff. It's difficult, mate. Like, it's very, very difficult. I had 8 years of customer service going into being a PT, and I still struggled. So how can people qualify with little to no experience dealing with people and expect to run a successful business? Now, you get, there's exceptions that people are maybe good looking and they've got a big following, but they're even worse, mate, because they get a lot of attention, a lot of people want to sign up, they don't know how to package their services, so they get this first big influx and they think they've made their money, then it goes. And actually some of the people that we've taken on board have got the biggest followings, have actually got the worst businesses. So ill prepared from qualifying. There's a big ego thing as well, mate, about asking for help, I think. And I don't just say that because I'm selling something for 3 years. I didn't know I had an ego about it. I just thought that someone in a locker room or someone saying to me, by the way, I charge £40 an hour. And you go, right, okay, I'll go to 35 because they've been doing it a while. So you think you're getting help, you're not. And that's the worst part of it, mate. So I think not getting help with the ego, I think being ill prepared as soon as you qualify. And I think just not having your business owner hat on.
There's something you kind of alluded to earlier is that whole thing of taking advice from the wrong people as well, because everybody's going to have something to say. If you say, right, I'm giving up my day job, I'm going to become a personal trainer, everybody's going to have something to say about that, but it's the people that you listen to, and whether or not you have anyone in your circle. I always go back to the fact that, Laurie and I didn't get into entrepreneurship until our mid-30s. We just never had anyone around us, growing up through school. There was never an option to run your own business. I didn't even know anyone that owned their own business. So, you're not getting advice from anybody that has a clue about that sort of thing, and what it leads to is if you do want to kind of have a wee, play about with something, you've got these overly negative views from your extended family and all that, because all they've known is sort of that employee mindset, It's just the dangers of taking advice from the wrong place. It's
so important, mate. And I was so keen to do well and impressed that I took any advice. And then I wasn't able to put the blinkers on at all. And it's not until you look at it now and go, wow, man, if I just didn't listen to the people, I could have been on my own course. So I think it's sometimes blind ambition can be a bit dangerous as well. So now I'm just like, I remember getting help to run my fitness business from a business mentor, and I went, who's the guy above him? How? Because he's not coming up with all this. Not a chance. And then eventually found out, and I went, cool, finished with him, started upgrading coach, and then went with the guy above him. And that was that.
I mean, the benefits of mentorship and paid mentorship, because free stuff is worth every penny of it. It's pay for value, but it's about getting someone that's further ahead on the journey. I mean, we've done that throughout our building our business. We're always trying to get mentorship from someone who's ahead of us, because it's the only way you know what's next and how to get there and fast track it and avoid the thousands of mistakes you're going to make along the way.
It's like a cheat code, mate.
Exactly. Why wouldn't you want that? Let's talk a bit about mindset. It's something that immediately springs to mind, because with any of our training, mindset is foundational. It's something that we try and drill in people from day one. And anybody that comes on our course who comes from a fitness background, or who has obviously been on a fitness journey, you feel like you're off to a winner already, because they've been through a mindset journey, and that's where most people fall down and fail at the start. How do you train mindset? And how do you get these trainers who are already kind of must be in the mindset kind of world? How do you get them to the next level with their mindset and kind of translate that into business?
Yeah, great question, mate. Like, the first thing that we tackle is mindset and environment. When coaches come on board, they're looking for a new funnel or they're looking for a sales process. And I'm like, right, let's talk mindset first, advanced belief system. And I know how important it is, mate. A funny thing for me is I never assess mindset. I think mindset can be kind of loosely attached to work ethic, because your willingness to show up can always have a compound effect and build momentum. So I've never really addressed mindset because I've never had to. I just know every day I show up. Not 100%, not perfect, but I wake up and I have a desire. Mate, I did that with Sainsbury's. I put my Sainsbury's uniform on, and I'll be the first to answer the buzzer when somebody needs to get new milk, because it's burst on the counter.
I mean, you must have realised along the way that that's not normal.
I did, and it's like I started helping coaches, and I couldn't quite get why some of them didn't want the next level. They're quite happy to maintain. So it's about, I think for me now, mate, it's like trying to ask the right questions at the right time for people. As you mentor someone, it's like, what do I need to say to this person right now to get them to open up with their mindset? And there's so much, way more advice out there than I can ever even touch on, mate, you know? So I would always advise self-development for that stuff, for your podcast, self-belief. But a lot of it's like, you hear words like imposter syndrome and lack of belief. One thing that I've noticed with personal trainers, mate, is that they're just clients. They're just general population. I think when they become a PT, they have this sense of hero-ship that they need to look after everyone else. Yeah. When actually, mate, they're suffering from the exact same things. People struggle with self-belief and imposter syndrome. So does PTs, which is just people with a PT at the end, letters. We all struggle with it, human beings. And I'm just business mentor at the end of my name. Wealth development, you know, training, everything else. So I think mindset has to be one of those ones where you have to understand like why you're doing something, mate. Like we got the property in Spain, and I was like, brilliant, what's next? And I'm grateful, I'm happy, but I've got this desire that I need to impress and I need to do more for myself. Yeah. And I think it's from a working class background. So installing the mindset into coaches is really just about, my job as a mentor for them is to be like, look, this is what's possible. You do realise that you can achieve that. And then once they believe, that should unlock some stuff in their mind, mate. But as far as mindset goes, I think I run the risk, mate, of making a call that it's always going to be a thing. I think, like, if we talk about, you know, Bruce Lee talking about be like water, I think you can't have a bulletproof mindset, and in your pursuit of that, you're probably always going to fail. So, like, why not have, like, a motion mindset? Fuck, this is just landed on my desk. How like, okay, do I be positive about it, or do I be negative? Why don't you just be motion about it? Why don't you just take it in your stride? It's like a surfer. Like, you know a wave's coming, so while you're on that board, get ready for it. Enjoy it while it's up there. But know that when you come off that wave, you're going to be splattered into the water. You need to get back up, you're going to be out of breath. Yeah. And is there another wave coming? Do you need it now? Have you got your breath back? Wait. Yeah. Right, okay, why am I waiting? But there's another wave and I'm here for the day.
So many people get lost in the anticipation of it though. Yeah. You know, and that's where the anxiety steps in.
While they're on the board.
Yeah.
Do I go up that wave? Should I go up that wave? I don't know if I could do it. People are watching.
Last time that happened and it was a nightmare and disaster and it was all going to happen again. Yeah. And, you know, you get lost into these cycles of thought process. I mean, I think, you know, I find in my mindset journey with this stuff, I mean, it is an emotional roller coaster running a business, especially in the earlier days. Actually, I don't think it's got any better. It's probably the ups and downs have got bigger, if anything. And for me, you know, there are days where you're not going to be in the right headspace, and it's just finding small hacks to kind of deal with that. And you know, one of the things that I came against was the 5am Club by Robin Sharma, and it's just and the whole book, I just took this simple process away of like 20 in the morning. So start at 5am, it's an hour in the morning, do 20 minutes of exercise. It's not like your workout, it's just to wake you up. 20 minutes of kind of planning your day, visualizing, you know, bit of meditation if you're into that sort of thing, deep breathing, just trying to make sure that you're not going to become a passenger of the day. You know, you have a plan in place and how you're going to get the most out of your day. And in the last 20 minutes, just for a bit of self-development, whether it's watching a YouTube video or whatever. But that process keeps me in a good frame of mind most days. Not every day, but most days. And I think for me, it's just like trying to find the best way to reach someone in that way, where you can kind of try and set things at the start of the day and have the best chance of having, you know, some sort of stable mind frame for the day, you know. Yeah,
I mean, for me, it's like I don't have any crazy morning routines. I wake up and I want coffee straight away. Yeah. You know, I talk about hydrate before you caffeinate. I'm ready for my coffee straight away. Yeah. You know, and I'll go in and I'll turn the computer on. Most of the time I'll go down, get a shower, come back up, and I cannot wait to get going, mate. But it's not like message clients, send emails. It's do some stuff that I like doing. And I can't go to the gym, mate, unless I've did some stuff. I tried going to the gym in the morning before. All I think about is work during the session. So I need to get up, have coffee. I sit with Cheryl. She sits there. I'm preparing my content for the day.
Yep.
I'm not opening any WhatsApps or any emails. I'm not stressing myself out.
Yep.
I'm just sitting there with a warm coffee, like in comfy clothes, opening some stuff, getting ready for the day. And as soon as 9 o'clock hits, it's work mode.
Yep.
9 till 12, work, and then gym. So I don't have any crazy routines. And when I start noticing myself being a bit more lethargic and stuff, it's probably my eating. It's probably the gym sessions have been shit or inconsistent.
Yep.
I've probably not got fresh air in. So then
That's massive,
I just
yeah,
dial
getting
it back.
outside.
Yeah, but I mean, I know so many, man. It's like they have so many boundaries set, right? And they're stuck at $3,000 a month. They take weekends off. And I know I'm sounding like the Mr. Hustler here, right? Like hustle, hustle, hustle. But they're so early in an entrepreneurial journey. It's like you've got 10 clients and you take Saturday, Sundays off, mate.
We constantly talk about this: work hard, not to have to work hard. So you put in the hard work at the start, you know.
Yeah.
It goes back to the analogy of getting a rocket off the ground. You know, the amount it uses 80% of its fuel to get off the ground, and then once you're going, you're going.
Yeah.
You know, but expect that you're going to have to shift and graft to get it done. You know?
Yeah, mate. It's like work at the weekend because you want to, not because you have to.
Yeah.
I don't have to work this Sunday. But I'm kind of interested in doing some stuff. The noise is the way. People aren't going to message me on Sunday. But I want to build this thing that I'm excited about because I want to, not because I need to.
I was saying that to you just before we started the podcast, that we work a 4-day working week here, so the staff are only here till Thursday, and then Friday the office is dead. I love that because it gives me Friday to focus and catch up. It's really difficult through the week to get stuff done when you've got the chaos of day-to-day business, you know. But that Friday is just great time to focus on, right, what have I got coming up? What's the priorities for next week? You know, plan ahead.
And you can go home to the missus on Friday evening knowing that your head's clear. You've
got
tied those things in a bow.
Yeah. And it does sort of unwind you towards the weekend, so you're not going into Saturday having to decompress. You've had a bit of that, you know. So it for us, it's working wonderfully.
Yeah, I love
at the moment. But, so let's talk about the book. You know, we've just written our first book as well, Fast Track to Property Millions. The process for me was a nightmare trying to pin myself down to writing it. What was your experience of, first of all, writing the book, and what are your goals in putting this out there? I know you just got a bestseller, so congratulations on
Thanks,
that.
man.
That's a great achievement. So tell us a bit about it. Fitness Business Mastery.
Yeah, the goal with the book, first of all, writing the book. So I started just like starting anything, excited, ready to do it. Met with the editor and had a conversation. Started off good, mate. Like it's all the stuff that's in my head. It was parts of the program that I just had to break down and break into chapters and stuff. The biggest struggle I had with it, mate, was I never realised how much running businesses that I've been running. I love short-term gratification. You know, let's do this thing and go and get this thing and show the world we've done it.
Yep.
Let's get this client. Let's get your results and let's tell the world about it. You know, let me build a training for you guys that I think is going to be a game changer. What do you think of it? Oh, that was great, brilliant. And we get so caught up in short-term gratification, and so does people try to lose weight, try to make money.
Yep.
Everything.
Everybody wants the top 3 ways to achieve something fast, or the number one thing you need to do to achieve weight loss. You know, it's all this fast.
It's every YouTube title, basically.
Exactly.
You know, so how to get abs in 30 days. So I didn't realise that until I started this book, and the book was a 12-month project. And I'm like, you're telling me that I'm sitting at 5:30 in the morning at my desk writing a chapter of this book, knowing that people aren't going to see it for another 12 months.
Yep.
And that got me hard, and I was like, right, okay, wow. So I had a bit of a stumbling block. I went on a couple of holidays, came back, picked it back up. You can do a thing where they ghostwrite it and stuff like that, and I'm like, no chance. It's just not going to be me. People will tell it's not me, right? I loved writing it. It was just so many words, and I'm not very articulate in that sense. So then I went to play to my strengths, which is speaking stuff. Yep. So I recorded it. I recorded all the words, spoke them out, got it transcribed, terribly transcribed because the Scottish accent, it never really worked. I had to end up picking it apart. And I got to chapter 6 and I went, right, that's enough now. Come on, you. Treat it like any other business task. Go and do it and get it done and polish it off. So after sort of like 10 months of 4 months solid, 6 months kind of half-arsed and dipping back in, we got it done. We got it released. We got it bestseller. And really what it's about, mate, is there's a big, when people qualify, they qualify ill prepared, as I mentioned, and they don't know the next step. Now the dangerous thing about people, because I've sat in front of people during their qualifications doing talks, like, here's what to look out for, here's what I think you should do. And they don't really care, because it's that way where they're like, I'm just excited to qualify.
Yeah.
And they don't know the problems they're going to face. It's a bit like someone going to the gym in January. Here's my trainers. I got trainers for, Christmas, and I've got a nice pair of leggings.
Yep, I'm going to smash it. Abs will be coming any day.
Yeah, that'll be it. I'll have massive biceps. They walk in, they go, the fuck's this? What's this machine? Moving it about, don't know what to do with it. They're like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
But I'm here. I thought that was enough.
Right.
No, you need knowledge. You need to know what you're actually doing.
I think a lot of people starting out in business as well have this idea of build it and they will come, right? I've just got this wonderful shop. I've just opened it, full of things. Everybody's going to flood in now. Doors are open. Fucking no one there.
Yeah. And they all said they were going to come.
Yep.
No, I'll definitely come, Alex. I'll be there. What day is it?
Yep.
Cool. Why isn't everybody here? Because money needs exchanged. So I remember being, my experiences are in that book, and it's like, I remember being stuck at, 3 years in, and I applied for an assistant manager position, employee mindset, because I just couldn't handle it being so up and down with income.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be part of a team again. I wanted to wear the uniform, and I wanted to grow with the company while it was growing. And I went, no, I never got the job. And I was like, what? So I went back to the drawing and I went, right, what are you doing here? So then that's when the first time I invested in the business. Spent money for a seminar in London, went down, came back up. All of a sudden started plugging things into my business that no one in my gym had. I was like, you're not a big fish, you're a wee fish in a big pond now. Mm-hmm. So I've wrote the book so that it just gives coaches a clear, concise path, mate. It's 9 chapters of just do this thing first. Mindset's chapter 1.
Ideal.
As you know.
Absolutely.
Then it's like, okay, how do we get clients? What kind of clients do we need to target? We need to laser target people that you can help. Mm. Then we move into the realm of like building systems, how to do check-ins with clients, how to build a funnel, how to sell to people.
The systemization one's really interesting. I mean, this is a big one for us as well. As a property investor, you want to be doing 2 things. You want to be focusing on deals, finance, matching the 2. That is how you become a professional property investor. And everything else kind of needs to be systemized. So it's really interesting to hear about systemization being a big part of a fitness journey, because a lot of people that don't know it just think, right, well, you just turn up, you train your clients and that. But there's a lot more that goes in the background between building plans, check-ins, that process. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that can be systemized, right? Yeah,
so like as soon as someone pays money, what happens next?
Yeah.
Do they go to a welcome video? Mm-hmm. A series of emails that they get to say, hey, welcome to the team. Here's the next step. Step 1, watch this video. Here's how you'll get your plans on this app. Create an account. So, mate, it's massive now, and coaches or fitness business owners are covering all aspects now. Routine, habits, lifestyle, mindset, mental health, everything.
Yeah.
So that comes with the process, and systems is huge, mate, because we get our ideal client is a burnt out PT who just doesn't know what to do next. And burnt out means that they're in demand. People want help from them, but they're juggling time for money.
Yep.
So in the gym, here's money. I'll see you tomorrow at 2:00. There's only so many of the people you can do with that.
This is the thing about turning your passion into a profession. It can quite quickly just be replacing one job with another.
Oh, you're a job. It's a job. Yeah. You're not a business owner.
And we talk about this journey because it's, Robert Kiyosaki's got this, I don't know if you heard him, the Rich Dad Poor Dad guy, but he's got this quadrant where, it's 4 sections to it. So you start E, employee, S, self-employed, next level is business owner, and the last level is investor, where, money makes money. Business owner, you're still very active in it, but you're leveraging other people's time to make you money. A lot of PT trainers are just going to be in this S where they're self-employed, they're working for themselves, but they're just trading their time for money. Right?
Yeah, you ask them what they earn and they say 5k a month, and you're like, no, that's what your business earns.
What's your net?
That's what your business earns. What do you earn?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, this 2k, right? Okay, is that what you 24k a year? Can you earn that in ASDA?
Yep.
That you used to work in as a manager? Yeah, you can.
Yep.
So. And I know you've got a nice fancy title now, but you're still self-employed, or you're still making the same money. But they're kind of blinded by this 5k or this number when it's like, so I think that's big thing.
Revenues, vanity, profits, sanity.
I love that saying, mate. So that's the big purpose of the book, mate. And my goal now is to get it in the hands of every coach who maybe can't afford us right now, maybe can't join one of our programs. Go and get the book, scan the QR code, download the resources. You know, it's as cheap as on Amazon as we can make it, as they'll let us, make it. I'll release an Audible soon as well for those who just want to hear it. And go and learn it, get to 3K, and then give me a shout when you get there. Excellent.
No, I mean, it sounds like a really good tool, and for a really tiny investment, you can get access to, years of knowledge. So, I don't understand why more people don't go to these resources to learn.
Yeah, I can't fathom right now how you can go and listen to a millionaire's podcast and listen to him talk. I can't fathom it. Yeah. I was on the road and driving up to, you probably heard Alex Hormozy. Yeah. And I listened to his podcast on the way here. Mm-hmm. I'm a 100 million CEO minimum. Yep. I can listen to him talk to me about business.
It's incredible.
It's mental. And then with your trainings and stuff like that, like people can just get access to that. And then,
I'm a big listener of podcasts. I live in Glasgow. I live in Hamilton, so I've got like a good solid 45-minute commute, and the amount of content that you can consume in an hour and a half journey there and back in the day, there's so much available. Massive fan of Diary of a CEO. There's another guy that's in property, Rob Moore, who does the Disruptor podcast. He's excellent.
What about Grant Cardone?
Grant Cardone is one that I'm a bit hit or miss with. He's got a lot of interesting points to say, but he's probably a bit too American for me, if I'm honest. Right. So, but the 10x thing's amazing. I did really enjoy his book.
Yeah, I love his Audible 10x, and it's not nothing other than just fucking hell shouting at you. Yeah. And I love that. I don't listen to it a lot, but sometimes when I find myself coming back to Grant, maybe I'm needing a bit of juice in me. Yeah. And I go back to that and I'm like, let's do this.
And then you come away with your American accent. Like,
exactly.
Let's do it. This is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, everybody needs a bit of that. My business partner's like that.
Is he? You need that.
He's the driving force. He's our 10x guy. So, yeah. So, obviously you've got the book. What about, let's talk very briefly about digital assets, YouTube, social media, online courses. How easy is it to monetize that sort of stuff? And what is a very crowded market? I think particularly in fitness, there's a lot of options. How do you get your message across?
So for me, like, my biggest source of clients has always been Instagram. That's how I got fitness clients, and that's now how I get business coaching clients. We run paid traffic as well as direct response. We do that. But I think it's always been Instagram. Now, as I grow a bigger company, and I'm like, right, okay, we need to think long term here. We're in YouTube now, nothing massive. We've just kind of started it, but we're flooding a lot of the resources into YouTube. When I look at people on YouTube, mate, and it's funny because I'm a big fan of YouTube. I love it. And I look at some people on YouTube, mate, and then you go to their Instagram and they've got hardly any followers. They don't even post, and I'm like, it just opens your eyes right up to the world. And I love short form content, as you've mentioned earlier. But it's when you think of long form, you get a different type of person. You get someone who wants to go in and study your stuff and learn and take notes. Short form content is flash in the pan. And when I think of Instagram, I've done like 1,900 posts on Instagram, right? 1,900 of them. How many does anybody remember of them apart from the last 2 or 3? Yeah. Now that's content that I've never, I've started repurposing, but that's really good talking points that might have worked in the past, and yet they get buried down a feed that nobody checks. Yeah. Which is quite scary when we think about your legacy or anything that you leave. So the book was the next part of, right, okay, I need something that can go in someone's hand for a long period of time. Short form's great for top of funnel, attract attention. Who's this guy? Yep. What's he saying? Right, okay, what's that link he's telling me to click on? Oh, an 8-minute YouTube video. How he built his gym to 250k in 12 months. Interested. And if you watch that, you're the type of person that I probably want to talk to soon. Exactly. For me, short form content is like great, engaging. We need to play a bit of the game, don't we? We need to be, we need to grab someone's attention and do a bit of a hook. I love it. I enjoy doing it. But now I'm starting to really feel the reason I stopped doing YouTube, like anybody else listening to this, is probably because, instant dopamine hit. They never got it with YouTube. It takes ages to build. Yep. So I'm trying to do what, one of the things that Alex Hormozy always talks about is just, and it came from Gary Vee, to be honest, is delay my ask for as long as possible. Now I'm trying to give. It's usually give, ask. Yep. I'm going to try and be give, comma, give, get.
Ask. Yeah.
Get. You know, and that's the goal now, is to just try and do that. And of course, you need to pay the bills, but we've set up a business in such a way that we look after our clients. It's monthly recurring revenue orientated, so we're quite happy with that. So, mate, for me, we've got the YouTube channel, The Coach's Mentor. We've got Instagram, The Coach's Mentor. Facebook's there as well. We run some paid traffic to get eyeballs on our stuff. But I cannot wait to grow the YouTube channel, mate. That's my next big thing. We've got the podcast as well, but we will just be taking audio from YouTube into that as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, there's a massive opportunity. If you've got a unique message to send and you learn the skills of how to create content that is engaging and capture people, I mean, there's so much opportunity with digital assets just now. It's actually hard to build a business without it.
Yeah.
You know, especially in the sort of fields that we're in of trying to attract people to improve their lives, to train them, you know, all that sort of stuff. You really need that initial hook, so they know who you are, so they know your message. So and it creates that immediate rapport before they've even come to see you, before they've even sat down. Are you the right type of person for them to work with? Are you going to fit well? They know that before because you've been out there, they've seen so much of your content. And, you know, I guess for you, the hallelujah come to Jesus moment was during COVID, where you'd already been doing a lot of this stuff and you realised you could exponentially monetize it in a much bigger fashion than you would have otherwise.
Yeah, mate, it's just plain like 10x in it, and it's just going that bit bigger with it and going, right, how can we amplify this even more? And that's what, you know, I had plenty of money sitting there for the business to reinvest, and I'm going, why am I still filming my own videos?
Yeah.
Why is a videographer coming every so often? Hire one.
Yeah.
Put your money where your mouth is and get them to, and then you go, oh, I've just hired a videographer. Right, I need to go and plan stuff for him to go and do.
And that's the thing, it's like, okay, pay the money, but understand that you're going to get the maximum value out of it by putting a plan in place. What content am I going to get? What shots am I going to get out of this?
Yeah.
You know, repurposing content and, you know, being able to put it out to multiple channels. And,
yeah,
you know, we talked about that at the start, that, you know, there's, in fact, Rob Moore, the guy that does Disruptors, he's very good at repurposing content again out. And that is, it's just massive leverage, right? I mean, you can be everywhere.
Yep.
You know, without
attention's the number one source now, mate.
Absolutely. So the last question that I always ask to anybody that comes on the podcast is, what does real wealth mean to you, and what are you aiming for in life?
Mate, great question. I think real wealth to me is like the ability to enjoy what you do whilst having good wealth. Yeah. You know, one of the things that I realised last year was, yeah, that's good, I've achieved that, what's next? And one of the things that I ask myself every morning now when I'm sipping on my coffee is, what excites me today? And I hate saying this in the way that I don't want anybody to think, yeah, it's okay for you now that you've got some money. I was like, no, I'm barely scratching the surface with money, but I'm able to sit here today and go, right, I need something that excites me. And sometimes what that does is makes me plan a new event. You know, I've got an event in Spain with our clients, but I need that excitement because without it, I've been a personal trainer who's successful, but, you know, money's okay, good for a personal trainer and good for me. I'm not being excited. Not looking forward to my next client. So I know that from that business into the Upgraded Coach, where I sit there in the morning, I'm like, right, coffee, what excites me today? Can't wait to catch up with that client at 12 o'clock. Yeah, we're actually hiring a new appointment setter, or can't wait to have the team meeting with the staff to see how our weeks went. Happy days. Put that thought to tomorrow morning.
I think it's that thing of like looking forward to a Monday. You know, I talk about our wind down process on Friday, having a good weekend, but I'm excited, I'm buzzing to get back to it on Monday and what we're going to hit this week. And when things run a bit flat, it's like, right, what's next? There's something new needed. We done that at the start of the year. We bought the Black Lock Resort, which is this, it was originally a fishery on a 124 acre lock, 7.5 acres of land. We're going to be putting a big restaurant, we're going to be doing lodges and all that sort of stuff. Brilliant. But we went looking for a project like that because, you know, we just got a bit fed up with the whole resi thing. Now we're still doing that massively, you know, but we wanted something else. We wanted another type of project, and now we've got this resort that's going to be doing water sports and all that sort of stuff. It's a really cool place to actually go and hang out as well. So it was just like something we felt we needed in our life. You know? And that's the cool thing about having your own business, where you can make those decisions and say, right, this is where I want to go just now. You know? Yeah,
I love that, mate. Like, I've got coaches who are say earning $5,000 a month on the gym floor, and they're not fulfilled anymore. Then they leave and go online, bit harder to keep clients and stuff. They go down to 3k, they lose 2k, but they've got all their time back. They're time rich, they're happy. They wake up in the morning, take their kid to school, come back, get a workout in, and then help their clients. So it's like, for me, wealth is that feeling of just being in control of what you do, having worked for companies that tell you that you need to work next weekend Saturday morning, you need to work on Friday night, into Saturday morning. So the wealth for me is being able to just go, I'm booking a flight and I don't need to ask and try and use one of my allocated 6 weeks of the year to go on holiday.
To do that. I mean, I'm massively jealous about this Spain property. You know, that's high on my agenda in the future. It's just, you know, we are going through a bit of chaos at the moment. I think just in structuring some of our businesses and all that sort of stuff. But it's definitely in the long term, as things become more passive, as the right pieces are in place in our business. Like being able to be abroad half the year sounds fucking amazing, especially Spain. You know, I'm a big fan of Marbella. I think you're in Murcia, are you?
Murcia, aye.
Yeah, it's beautiful down there as well.
Go back there in 2 weeks' time.
Fantastic.
Host my mum and stuff, and then we're going to host the clients as well.
Phenomenal. Laurie and I have been talking about Rue de España for a while, so it's definitely on the radar 100%. For us. And, you know, with some of our kind of high-end clients, you know, there is the idea of a high-level business training program in Spain.
That'd be cool, man.
Take everybody away. It also helps people focus. You know, it's not just all about
jolly.
Mate, you know,
it's just exciting, man. Like, what, you know, if you're on your deathbed tomorrow, I always say this, and I say, what would you do? What would you do differently than now? And I know it sounds like it's a morbid way to look at it. It's like, go and do the thing then, because you're not on your deathbed tomorrow. Let's go. So, and I know that's all it's a bit of a motivational quote or whatever, but sometimes it's just trying to get you to motivate that. We looked at the property in Spain, and I was like, well, if I died tomorrow, would you regret not coming back and getting this place? Yep. Okay, let's get it then and see what happens. We'll figure it out for there, man. You know?
Fantastic. Great move. So thanks a lot. I really appreciate you coming along today, Chris.
Appreciate it, mate.
If anybody wants to reach out to you, you know, follow your stuff, how can they get in touch with you? I'll put it in the show notes anyway, but if you just give us...
just the Coach's Mentor on Instagram, Chris Bradley, if you search it as well on Instagram. You can obviously buy the book and link in the bio, Fitness Business Mastery on Amazon. But yeah, come say hi, and I appreciate you listening.
Thanks a million.
Thanks for having me, mate.
You're welcome. This has been the Real Wealth Podcast. I'm Alex Robertson, and I hope you join us on this wealth journey.